Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello everyone, we are from Group 4 and today we would like to discuss about topics called Varieties of Learning, Information, Attitudes, and Motor Skills. But before that, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Sitiara Sasabila with last student number 023.
My name is Andina Zahira Inaya. My student number is 067.
My name is Natasha Putri Patricia. My student ID number is 074.
Now let's begin.
Verbal information is verbal knowledge according to theory. It is stored as networks of proposition that conform to the rules of language. Verbal information, also called as declarative knowledge. It is learned through school, media, books, and real-life experiences. This knowledge helps in communication and understanding of various subjects. There are two sources of verbal information. First, learned through formal education such as school and university. Second, informal sources such as books, magazine, handphone, radio, and TV. 3 points of important verbal information. First, learning context. How knowledge is acquired both in formal education and through informal means, like media and personal experiences. Second, certainty and ultimity of knowledge, the necessity of structured learning for essential information that supports further education and practical life skills. Third, cultural and general knowledge, the significance of general knowledge in fostering identity and citizenship, as well as its roles in enhancing critical thinking and problem-solving abilities. The learning of verbal information. Verbal information can be also presented to learners through various media, like I said before, such as oral communication or written text and illustrations. While research on the effectiveness of this media will be discussed later, it is important to consider how verbal information differs in terms of its amount and organization. There are 3 types of learning. First, learning levels. Second, learning facts. For learning facts, they have 3 keys for looking up the instances. First, performance. Second, their internal conditions. Third, external condition. Last, learning organized knowledge. Learning organized knowledge involves connecting larger body of interconnected facts, such as those in history or science, to existing networks of information in memory. This organization helps the learner make sense of the material and aids in its retrieval later. For example, learning the periodic table in chemistry not only provides a structured framework for remembering elements, but also helps students retain their properties. Similarly, students of US history may organize facts by historical period, making it easier to remember individuals' events. The more organized the knowledge, the easier it is to learn and recall new information. This learning also have the 3 key points like learning facts, such as performs, internal condition, also external conditions.
Alright, now I will explain about attitudes. So, what are attitudes? Attitudes are internal states that influence an individual's choices and action toward people, objects, or events. And they are complex, involving both cognitive and affective components, as emphasized by various theories. Attitudes cannot be directly observed but are inferred from patterns of behavior over time. And here, measurement of attitudes often relies on observations, repeated actions, or even self reported choices in surveys. Since direct behavioral indicators are not always available, questionnaires are commonly used to assess attitudes by asking individuals to rate their likelihood of engaging in specific actions. So, what is attitude learning? Attitude learning is the process of acquiring or modifying by attitudes that is complex and influenced by various factors. Traditional persuasive communication methods are often ineffective in changing attitudes, as repetition or logical arguments rarely lead to lasting change. Instead, attitudes are best shaped through direct and indirect methods that create meaningful experiences and reinforcement. So there are 2 kinds of methods in attitude learning. The first one is direct method. So, indirect methods, attitudes can be directly formed or altered through conditioning and reinforcement. Classical conditioning, as demonstrated by Watson and Rayner in 1920, shows that individuals can develop positive or negative associations with objects or experiences. Additionally, reinforcement techniques help shape attitudes by associating desirable behaviors with positive outcomes, such as developing an appreciation for classical music after recognizing its patterns and themes. The second one is indirect method. So, human modeling is a powerful indirect method for shaping attitudes. As individuals observe and imitate behaviors from respected figures, such as parents, teachers, celebrities, idols, or even characters. So, effective models must be credible and relatable, and their behavior should lead to observable positive outcomes. This process, known as vicarious reinforcement, helps learners internalize attitudes through repeated exposure to model behaviors and their consequences. There are also two types of conditioning in attitude learning. The first one is internal conditions. So attitudes are reflected in an individual's consistent choices and behaviors, indicating either a positive or negative tendency toward an object, event, or person. For successful attitude learning, the learner must already respect the model and possess the necessary intellectual skills and knowledge related to the behavior being imitated. So, for example, rejecting harmful drugs requires prior knowledge of their dangers and availability. The second one is external conditions. So, attitude learning through modeling involves a sequence of external conditions. There are introducing a credible and appealing model, and then recalling relevant knowledge, demonstrating the desired behavior, and then the last showing the positive consequences of the behavior. And this final step reinforces learning through vicarious satisfaction, encouraging the learner to adopt the model attitude. The last that I would like to explain is changing attitudes. So, to change attitudes effectively, we should provide learners with information on alternative choices and the pros and cons of desired behaviors, emphasizing long term benefits. Relevant role models in adoption and environmental support is crucial for sustaining changes. Aligning behaviors with core values increases commitment, while teaching necessary skills ensures visibility. So, recognizing and rewarding positive choices reinforces motivation, whereas unintended punishments should be avoided. And allowing learners to set personal goals fosters gradual change, and interactive methods like simulations and role playing make benefits clear. Lastly, avoid linking unrelated behaviors, as habits often form complex patterns that require targeted interventions.
Alright, the next one we talked about motor skills. What is motor skills itself? Motor skills are movements we learn and practice to do things smoothly and correctly. The skills involve the brain, sense, and muscle working together. In school, motor skills are used in many activities such as writing, throwing, using tools, and playing sports. Some motor skills, like writing numbers, are learned early, while others, like not, may be taught later. The better we practice, the faster, the more accurate, and smoother our movement become. Next is characteristics of motor skills. How do we learn motor skills? To learn motor skills, we need to practice creates a motor program. This means that after enough practice, movement become automatic, needing less conscious effort. There are two types of feedback. The first one is internal feedback. This comes from our muscles and joints, helping us feel if we're doing the movement right. The next type is external feedback. This comes from our outside sources, like a teacher or coach telling us what to fix. Motor skills improve with repetitions and practice. The more we practice, the better our movements become. Teachers and coaches help us by giving instructions through words, pictures, or step-by-step guidance. When learning motor skills, we must master part skills first and then combine them in the correct order. This process is controlled by an executive subroutine, which acts as a plan guiding the sequence of movement. For example, we learn how to ride a bicycle. Of course, first we learned to balance. Then we practice paddling. And finally, we combine both to ride smoothly. So, with continuous practice and feedback, motor skills become smoother, faster, and more accurate over time. So, in conclusion, this chapter examines verbal informations, attitudes, and motor skills, each requiring different learning conditions. Verbal learning relies on external cues, attitudes on reinforcement or modeling, and motor skills on practice with feedback. Though distinct from intellectual skills, they are equally vital in education. Instructional design prioritizes intellectual skills while integrating other learning types, which future chapters will explore related strategies.
That is all from us. Thank you so much for your attention and
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
On my body, I'm an icon, man. And my girl about a 10. I should fuck